The point of a well-designed product is not just to look good, it has to increase conversion rates and it has to create compelling experiences. The problem is it's really difficult to measure return on investment, so it helps to have a process that you know works and that you can reuse. So for example, our 5-step UX process, we know that that leads to between a 30 and 45% uplift in conversion rates for a typical booking flow, and that means that we can scale much more quickly across different platforms with consistency. Increasingly, there's an off-the-shelf solution for pretty much any use case, but you've got to be careful because they all look really good because of all the marketing gloss. In order to find out which one's actually the best fit for your business, it helps to use a tool like Postman, test APIs, really get under the hood and understand what the service levels of the business is like. Many tech firms operate in very highly regulated spaces, and sometimes this can lead to a bit of a chicken and egg scenario where you want to build and test something, but you also need to understand what those regulations are to make sure that you meet them. And it's really important to have an expert there from day one to help. So we find it's really useful to use a tool called Legal Ratchet, where lawyers will provide the parameters of those regulations early on. You can build something very simple and repeat that process until you have full confidence in the solution that you're building is going to be ready for market. When hiring, particularly in very early stages, it's important not to spend too much time on lengthy processes for recruitment. The perfect candidates don't exist, but you do need to get people in the door quickly to start doing stuff. And we tend to find that there are two broad and very important archetypes that are key to this. Firstly, a strategy lead that can pull SQL, but also a CTO or a solution architect that can actually code and roll their sleeves up. At scale up, it becomes more important to think more about organizational structure, but those two roles are critical right at the beginning. Designing out your full platform architecture can feel like a really big job, but it's important to get this right as it will pay dividends. 90% of your tech stack probably already exists and has already been built by companies, ready for you to pick up and plug in. Our advice is to start with a regulation in your space and find solutions that you know can meet those. Then you can spend your efforts on the things that really matter in differentiating yourself and adding value to your proposition. Pitching, negotiations, legal, due diligence all takes time. Meanwhile, you're burning through your cash flow. One technology hack to help manage your cash flow is to choose solutions with variable costs. So as your users go up, your costs go up. But it means that actually, if there are delays and your user base is low, you're not going to be paying for things that aren't being used.